Thank you all. Welcome to the final segment of our panel marathon. I feel like I'm in a sequential and perpetual talk show up here. So unfortunately, there's no free gift under your seat, but I wish there were. Maybe we could have put Bob's books under there. I'm the vice chair of the Opportunity International Board of Governors, and I'm thrilled to be here today with two very special guests from Uganda, Joyce Nawaguma and Faith Komokaya. And Joyce is a very remarkable woman. I've gotten to spend a little bit of time with her here this week. She founded the Batanda Junior School in 2001 with 7 students in her garage. Since that time, her school has experienced remarkable growth thanks to her determination to live out her dream and a few small loans from Opportunity International. She now employs 15 teachers, and they educate over 400 students. She's an innovative, yes. She's an innovative businesswoman and a creative and clever teacher and mentor to her students. And we're also going to hear from Faith today. Faith works for Opportunity Uganda in Kampala. She started as a loan officer in 2008 and has worked her way up to relationship supervisor, where she plays a key role in guiding and empowering over 3,000 loan clients and supervises a portfolio of 3.5 billion Ugandan shillings, not dollars. How many of you went to the education breakout sessions earlier today? And then you heard Nathan talk a little bit here a few minutes ago. You learned a lot of background on our education finance program, a lot of data, and a lot of information. And now we're going to get to the story part of this. We're going to hear the story behind the data, and I'm going to ask Joyce a few questions to kind of guide her through the story of her life with Opportunity International and how her school has grown from the 7 students in the garage to the 400 students that she has now. So Joyce, you told me that you had a dream of starting a school for a long time, and finally in 2001 you opened the Batanda Junior School. Why did you choose to start a private school in your community? Was there really a need for another school?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As she has already introduced me, I'm Joyce, a professional teacher, and I happen to go where I went, and like Adela is about to show us, I've been in this work for teaching for about 28 years. Coming back to you, Madam Wendy, it was important at that time, this is way back in 1993, that I moved to that house, which we are about to see. I stayed in that area for about 7 years, but I realized there was a need to really make another school. In that area where I stay now, there was only one public school, and that public school had very many children. And the teachers were not always punctual. If they were punctual, they never had proper work ethics. And the classes were so congested. So having been in that profession for some time, I was inquisitive. Then I decided there was no teaching going on. The dream was there for some time, but I couldn't start a school then until year 2001. So lack of transport for these children, some could not come to school. They could play on the way. Those that managed to come, some teachers were not there. And if the teachers were there, they were not really interested in the work they were doing. They thought they were doing that work for government.
So it sounds like these are a lot of the problems that we've been hearing in the other sessions that we've been attending, the overcrowding of schools and public schools, the problem of transportation, getting kids to and from school, teachers not showing up or not being interested in teaching, and those sort of things. That's what you wanted to address by opening your school, is that right?
That's quite right.
We have a couple of photographs so that we can show how her school has grown from a physical standpoint. So we can see the photograph here. Joyce, do you want to tell us what we're looking at here on this photo?
Yeah, that was my home in 1993. Right behind my sister, that is my only sister, you can see a dark part. That is the garage of my house, and that was my first classroom.
Okay.
Where I put pupils, and I started a school.
You want to hand me that remote over there?
This one here?
Yeah. I think I'm supposed to be in charge of the phones.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's the next photo. Tell us what that photo is, Joyce.
Yeah. Having been in that, in the first structure, that garage first for 1 year, then I made another structure, moving children from my garage. Then I had wood, and I constructed a classroom, this time 2 classes, which was a very big achievement for me. I was proud of it.
And the next photo, what does that show?
Yeah. I had become a very big woman. I constructed something permanent, something beautiful. Words used to go around that Joyce was teaching children first in the garage, then in the wooden structure. So they never saw sense in what I was doing until I constructed that one. And those were the first pupils that were in Batanda Junior School.
And this next picture shows the inside of a classroom.
That is the inside of the classroom. After about 5 years, I had the previous picture. This is the inside of that class. So I was getting along well. I was very proud then.
Yeah, you can see the kids have desks and cement
yes.
floor, and here's just a couple more pictures. I'm finding when we were looking at pictures to put together this presentation, there were hardly any pictures of buildings. They were all pictures of students, and I guess I was told that that's what it's all about, right?
I really wanted to show the children, okay, the buildings, yes, but how was I affecting the children? Because I was mostly involved with the lives of the children and the impact that I was making in the community. That was my loan officer before that. Okay. There was my loan officer, Brenda, who did a tremendous job. I really commend this small girl for it. Yeah. She worked so hard to convince me. I was that type of person who feared loans because after all, what did I have? I never had any security to take to the bank, but she always took me through what I should do so that I could get a loan.
And tell us what this final photo is.
Yeah, that is year 2009, Opportunity Bank opened up a branch near my school. My school is 13 kilometers from the city center. But the banks that were there then, they were just around the city center. It was Opportunity Bank that saw it fit to move to the rural areas. So Opportunity Bank moved to Kawempe, and Simon, the great man, he's a marketing manager in Opportunity Bank. He also did a great job to come to my school. He convinced me a lot, and then I opened up an account with Opportunity Bank. Then he's the man who convinced me to open an account, and I got a loan. I got 4 loans. Up to now, I have got 4 loans. This is the second loan, but there was a first loan. I don't think you have the photo.
Yeah, tell us about the first loan, because you had 4 loans. The van was the second loan. Tell us about the first loan, because this has been a topic of conversation here at the conference.
I was so happy when I heard that what I'm going through is exactly the same to what is happening to other people. Latrines are very, very important. Is a very important asset in a community. Sometime back, when I was starting in this school, I had a latrine. I made a latrine, 3 stands, 3 for the girls and 3 for the boys. And at that time, I had, the population was small. Later, before I joined the bank, I had 225 children. So they could not use only those stances. I gradually started making another latrine. My mathematics didn't work out well. The money that I had at the time could not help me, could not finish that facility. So by the time the loan officers of Opportunity Bank came, I was really hard up. So I had to take up the loan and completed that facility. That facility is now very useful.
So you're talking about the school or the latrine facility?
The latrine facility
That was your
helped
first
me a
one.
lot. Yeah,
Okay.
helped me a lot because I made it. I made another big one, and in a way I never knew it increased the population, because for some reason some children come to school when they are big, and you know what happens. In a place where there are very many houses, children cannot use the bush. So when this facility was completed, it increased the population. These girls could now stay at school, because once the child gets menstrual periods, definitely she has to run home. But if she's able to hide somewhere and clean up herself, this girl can continue until the day ends.
Yeah, we're finding that that's a very important, even when you're building a school, you have to think about something as basic as that.
Yeah, the latrine is a very basic facility for the school. Yeah. And it must be big enough, not the small one, because if there are very many in a small place, they cannot use it. Yeah.
So you had another loan I want to just ask you about, and that is you used your loan to build teachers' accommodations. So I want to talk for just a minute about teachers and how you attract quality teachers, because that's one of the things that Nathan was talking about. It's not just the number of pupils that you have or the number of teachers, but it's the quality. How do you find and keep quality teachers at your school? And you have 15 teachers, correct?
Great. Having been a teacher myself, a primary teacher, it is one of the facilities that teachers need. A school without staff quarters in my area is not, you can't guarantee good work. Once you have the houses for teachers, you are guaranteed good work. No teacher is going to remain, to be away during the day when you have a house. What explanation is he going to give? To remain in the house and don't come to teach? So it is, when you have these houses, you are guaranteed of perfect work. You are guaranteed of their attendance to the children. You get first-class attention from the teachers, to the children. And supervision of them, supervising the teachers themselves becomes very easy. Again, as they work, they also work with a settled mind, because he will not worry about the money for transport. He will not worry about the jams. I don't know whether you have jams in your places. Yeah, that crisis. So you really get these teachers. They are at school in time, and they leave school as late as they can, because they are just going behind and they reach home.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Joyce and I were talking about, is she can attract students to her school, because students are very anxious to go to school and they love school, and Faith is going to talk a little bit about that. But keeping teachers, attracting teachers, keeping teachers, and getting them to show up every day to teach all the students that are anxiously waiting for them is a problem. So by constructing accommodations or lodging for teachers, she not only provides them a good place to live, and as a benefit to their job, that is a real perk.
In fact, you even attract quality teachers, because instead of going to a place where there is no house, you can comfortably a teacher can be comfortably accommodated, and he works properly well.
And another thing that we learned from our talks earlier today over lunch is the importance of strong leadership, and really leadership with integrity, creativity, innovation. And Joyce, as it turns out, is quite a clever teacher and mentor of her students. And Joyce, I'd like you to share the story of the young boy who was showing up for school late.
Yes.
He had a good solution.
Yeah, as I was in the process of running this school, time came, because of my age, some people trusted me with their children. Until one mother, one woman came, said, "Mommy, you know, this time I'm getting defeated. My brother left me his son, but the boy is becoming unruly." I said, "How?" Then she went on to explain. Wow. Tom was registered, knowing very well that he's a stubborn boy, but I said, "I'll manage." He would come in the morning, disappear around break time. After break, he disappears. He used to go in the pond. There was a water pond somewhere. He could go there and swim. Lunch time, he sneaks in. He gets our lunch. So just like that. And I said, "Now, how am I going to manage this?" God gave me the brain to think. He said, "You know what, Tom? Every morning when you come, you knock at my window. I have come. I want the keys." "Yes. You want the keys? Go and clean my office and mop it, and you find a chair and sit right at the door till I come." Then I could do some supervision around the class, around the school.
So you gave him the keys to the school?
For the office, my
Yes.
office. So I said, "You know what? That is, you are going to do that." He said, "Yes." He did it properly well for about 1.5 weeks. Then, with his tricks, he went on. Because after eating our food, he would escape. After having our porridge, he could escape. I said, "No, this can't work." You know, Tom, every evening, before you go you must not leave this school before you close the classes. Every evening, you are the person who is going to close all the classes. And this must be done at 5. Is it clear? "Yes, Jaja." I said, "Okay." Then that did magic. It was very, very useful for this boy. He did it. I think along the line he saw the tricks were not working out very well. He became steady. He studied up to primary 7. Because he was not very steady at the beginning, he got a 2nd grade. But I was very, very proud, because even the auntie was so happy that in the first place, he would settle in class, he would not die in the ponds. 2, at least he could get a position in a good senior secondary school. So Tom started behaving very well, did all the house chores at home. This her auntie reported. Then after some time, he went to an institution. Somewhere, somehow, he did very, very well. And this previous August, he graduated and got a degree in journalism. I felt so good. I felt so good.
Yeah. And it's all because Joyce cares so much about each and every student. And this particular student, who was going to be a challenge, she knew from day one. She took him in, figured out what was going to make him feel responsible, accountable, and as a result, because of her mentorship and cleverness, this young man now has a university degree. So that's a great story. Faith, I want to ask you a couple of questions. You've been waiting patiently over there. So you are a loan supervisor. Thank you for all the support and guidance you provide to Joyce and to other clients that you serve and have served over the years. What is it that got you into banking in the first place? Banking is probably not a traditional career path for a woman in Uganda.
Thank you so much. Hope you can hear me.
I think.
Well, a typical African man, a rich African man of those days. They normally would marry very many women. So I grew up in this very complicated life. We were over 40 children, over 100 people in the same home. There was a lot of struggling, and I would see the women in my life suffer. They wouldn't fend for themselves. So to me, I grew up knowing it that I really needed a job that would pay me so well, such that I run out of these struggles and I can be in position to look after my mom, to look after, to get the good things in my life that I couldn't afford. But along the way, when I got a job in Opportunity Bank, I came across these very inspiring women like Joyce, like they call her Jaja Joyce. They inspired me working with them on a daily basis, seeing the change that the loans were doing in their lives. Every day I see this, and it keeps inspiring me each and every day.
And can you tell us a story? You shared with me a story about one of your clients, Betty, how she has inspired you. And if you want to share that story with the audience, that will give them a good picture of not just the school proprietor loans, which Joyce was highlighting, but also the student fee loans that you provide to your clients.
Okay, talking about the clients that really inspire me, Joyce does inspire me, but there is one that stands out. She's called Betty. Can I have the photo?
Do we have a photo of Betty? I'm not sure if that got in the photo deck.
Okay, I can still continue. But Betty is a client who has been with us for some good years. But by the time she joined Opportunity Bank, she had just lost her husband. She had 7 children. She couldn't pay school fees for them. And she knew some bit of salon work, and she was doing mobile salon business. She would move around. She would hawk her business around. It was a mobile salon.
And a mobile salon, like hair salon, not saloon. And I'd like her cell phone number, by the way. I'd like someone who has a mobile salon.
I think I'll give it to you after this. But Betty was desperate at the time she joined us as Opportunity Bank. She took out her first loan and got a permanent structure, rented out a permanent place where she could have her business done, a permanent address. And after servicing her first loan and seeing the determination that she had, she was recommended by her members to access a school fees loan. And it was so rewarding on her side, because to her, Opportunity had become like a husband, because she was widowed. And at the close of the term, she has made it her custom to always report at the bank with her report cards to show us that this is the performance of the children. And in so doing, she's like telling us, prepare my next loan for the next term, because we're about to begin. And when the term is beginning, she reports to the bank with her children and the suitcases, and she's ready to take them to school, because she's so sure she'll get money to take her children to school. And her business has really grown. She has built her own home. She now has rentals, and her children are going to school. It is so rewarding seeing that change that Opportunity has brought into Betty's life as a widow.
Yeah, that's a great story. Thank you. So how many bank customers do you know that show up at the bank with the child's report card and the suitcase ready to go off to school immediately? They're so anxious to go. So thank you for sharing that. Now, what you may not know, I've learned that you're supposed to leave the audience wanting more, always. So, of course, we're going to be followed by, not a panel, but I believe just one individual person coming up here, so you'll be happy to hear that, followed by a reception, which, of course, is happy hour. But one thing I want you to ask Faith about during happy hour is about her own business, because she is also an entrepreneur. And she and her husband, in their home, have 15 people living with them, young people who work in her business. And I will just give you a clue, which will really kind of be a teaser for you to ask her about. The word is pancakes. In Spanish, panqueques, I think that is. So she'll tell you all about that, but she's quite an entrepreneur herself. And before we run out of time, I wanted to show you one thing because Nathan was talking about the importance of marketing and some of the things we encourage school proprietors to do. And Joyce has with her today a stack of brochures marketing her school, because you never know who in the audience, even here in Chicago, might know a child in Uganda who might be looking for a good school. So we'll be handing out those brochures later. And I loved the tagline on the brochure. It says, Batanda Junior School, knowledge is survival. So you don't need a marketing consultant. She's got this down, so thank you for that. So as a way to close, I wanted to give each of you ladies an opportunity to share anything we might not have covered by my questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to register my sincere thanks to have made this possible for me to come, to make it possible for us to come and tell you our stories. Back home, I don't think very many people are interested to hear what we are going through, but we only beg the Almighty God to reward you abundantly, to continue giving you the gift of life, and help us as individuals, and you help our people behind, back in Africa. Many women would have the capacity to be what we are. We have liberated ourselves, but there are so many others down there. Some educated ones, but they just don't have the capacity to get money and take care of their lives and for their children. Not that they don't want. One, they don't have security to access loans. So through Opportunity Bank, with its products, I'm sure if you extend to different women in our area, I can be a little bit selfish, in our area first, then to other areas next, then I think you will have done a good job and you'll have to go a long way. Thank you very much.
Well, when I was growing up, I was taught by my dad that when someone does something so good for you, you kneel down and say thank you. Well, when you see me kneeling down, it is Uganda saying thank you to each and every one of you. Because on a daily basis, we work with orphan children who get school fees from us, and they are assured of a future. So to us, and to the children, Opportunity has become a father. And there are many widowed women whose businesses have been changed by the loans that we do give them. So to Ugandan women who are widowed and are servicing from us, Opportunity has become a husband. And there are very many young men that we do finance. We buy motorcycles for them, and they've gotten employment, and to them, Opportunity has become a friend. So as I kneel down, I just want to say thank you, and thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you.